Good people. Yesterday was a difficult post. Today is another day. And today we're talking fraying locks. Fraying locks. Do you know what fraying locks means? Locks at the ends, mature locks, this tends to happen to. And when I say mature locks, I mean locks that are maybe 3 years plus going. That's what we call mature locks. So these locks have moved further away from the scalp and now right at the end, and they're telling you a story. Let's say maybe when they were interlocked or palm rolled or encouraged to lock, they go through the resistance stage. Everybody's hair goes through resistance stage. It went through resistance stage and the knots created, I can only refer to knots because we only work with interlocking, the interlocking method. The knots began to move, to try and unravel, but they didn't move completely out of the hair, out of the strands. They stayed in locked. And where the knots have moved, there are spaces. There are spaces that happen naturally that even we cannot see with the naked eye. Now, those holes could happen to anyone. And basically, they stay frozen, those holes, and they become weak spots because the whole point of interlocking is closing those holes, thickening the locks and encouraging the locks to move. Now, let's say you decide to color. You're not somebody who usually colors, and now you've decided to color, or you are into color. And what you find is a year later after coloring, you've forgotten about coloring, you've just done it once. A year later, you're finding your locks are fraying at the ends. This is natural. This is normal. This is an experience we found from our own personal experiences and other people's experiences. So what I post to you about fraying locks and color, some people might find this is incorrect information and others might find this is relevant. This is just in case you have colored your hair and you are worried about the fraying ends. This is normal because the colorant you've used, no matter how natural it is, I'm not referring to henna because henna is a natural plant, based plant. It's a natural plant. It's a plant. I'm talking about colorants that have 90+% all natural, and maybe the 10% or less is chemical based. That's tiny 10% can still create vulnerable spots in your hair because colorants are drying, colors drying. And when the locks have started drying up, what happens when it's too dry? It tells a story. It says way back years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, when your hair was being interlocked, there were holes created and these locks now are vulnerable and they have to come off. This is not a big deal. Don't panic about it. It's normal. We've also noticed a pattern that it tends to happen summer time and autumn. But summertime, you can have quite a cluster of locks fraying, coming apart from the ends. Just use a scissors and nick it off. Then your hair is also telling you it's drying. It's very drying. So what you need to do is keep your hair wet to lock in the moisture and the wetness to your hair. You need to use the right oils, which you will work out what works for you. Everybody's hair is different. And you will also work out whether butters are better. Milkier consistencies, thicker butters work for your hair once you've wet it. Ionized water, mineral water, water that's soft can be used. So if you've got a running tap of water from your tap and it's soft water and it's not drying to your hair, then use it. So this is so you don't panic when you find your mature locks are fraying years down the line, 3 years plus, and you're like, why is it? It's old strands telling you a story. They're further away from your head, further away from your scalp. Your scalp produces natural oils, but it can't reach all the way down. You have to help those locks to stay moisturized. You know our hair loves water. Our hair loves water and loves moisture. So that's what you need to do, is oil along your locks, not just your scalp, but along your locks, mature locks wearers. So I don't have color in my hair, but I regularly keep my hair wet and lock in the moisture with an oil. Coconut oil could be used. I've used black seed oil. There were times I used castor oil, coconut oil. There are so many oils, almond oil. There's so many oils you can use. So hope this helps you. Those who have colored their hair and they feel their locks are fraying. It means don't color your hair for a long time. So wait a year or two. But please bear in mind, when your loctician has worked on your hair, and let's say they've taken a year, 2 years to get your hair on point with that fullness, and then you make the mistake of using the wrong colorant in your hair, what you've done is you've kind of slowed down the progress of your hair on doing a little bit of the work that the consultant is doing in terms of trying to give you that fullness. Colorants accelerate certain processes that are going to happen to your hair in the future. Because your hair is drying, it fast forwards that story of your hair is tired, your hair is fraying off, your hair was feeling vulnerable, your scalp was feeling vulnerable. Color, that's what color does. It accelerates and gives you that information you need to help you basically keep your hair moisturized, really. And I, even though, as I said, I don't color my hair, I've experienced fraying. So this is not something to panic about. It is your old locks, tired, and sometimes it just needs to go. You're not going to lose that much length. It's not that major. So don't worry about it. Thanks, guys. Bye. Look after you.